Alright, this is going to be a quick video just going over how I determine these levels that I use to trade. I got a few questions about people asking me how I determine the levels, and I can't answer it in a post, so I'm just make this video here. And if this doesn't help you, then I don't know what to tell you. Go somewhere else. So what I'm looking for is, again, supply and demand levels. Now, what's a demand level? Well, a demand level is where I'm looking for a long. Supply level is where I'm going to look for a short. Now, technically, what's a demand level? A demand level is where demand overwhelms supply. Supply level is where supply overwhelms demand. So, basically, in a nutshell, and again, this is a very simplistic way to put it, but in a demand level, you're going to have a lot of buy orders that I expect to be triggered. And the same thing goes with shorts in a supply level. Now, how do I identify these zones? Well, again, this is done without any indicators. I don't use volume. I don't use anything. I use a naked price chart, and that's it. So let me just get into this here. So what am I looking for? Well, for a supply level, the most important thing that you need to look for is not, again, this is different than just typical resistance, okay? Because this right here, this is resistance right here, right? But this really isn't a level I'm interested in trading. Why is that? Because the reaction from this level, this down move, was not very strong, okay? At least not at this point, okay? If we look at it here, this level was not very strong. It wasn't until we get here that we get a significant reaction from this level, and the supply really comes in and overwhelms the buyers. So I'm not really interested in this level. Now, this is typical resistance, yes, but I'm not really interested in trading this level because of the move from that level. Now, look at over here. This is kind of where I think this was the New York session, actually. This was April 25th, so this was last week. Now, what do we get here? We get a significant move from this area right here, right? Significant. I mean, this is fucking massive. Now, it's not always this big. It's not always going to be this strong, nor does it need to be. But this is a good example. That's why I picked it. It's very clear. So, this is our first supply level, okay? Now, I'll get into how you draw these levels technically later on, but for now, just stay with me, okay? All right, so there's our first supply level right there. Now, how am I going to use that level? Now, what I'm going to do is any retest into this level, I'm taking it short, meaning I set my limit order and I leave it. I don't wait for confirmation with price action. I don't wait for a divergence to form. I don't wait for any of that shit. It's useless. It doesn't do anything. Trust me, just stop using price action and whatever else you're using and learn how to use these levels. Now, so I'm going to set my limit order. Typically, I'll tend to put it like at the close of one of these candles, especially if it's a little bigger and not right at the edge here. If it's a smaller level, width-wise, I'll tend to put it right at the start. So I'd probably put my short like right around there somewhere. Right around here, and I'll just set that limit order and just leave it, not touch it. So let's just move forward here, see if we could identify any further levels that form. So again, this is our first supply level. Now we're waiting for a demand level to form, okay, or a test into this supply level again, right? Now, all right, look at this right here. Here's another one. Here's another supply level. Now, why is this a supply level? Because we get a significant move down from this level. Again, and it does take some time to learn how to identify what's significant and what's not a significant move from a level. And again, how do you determine that? It's just a lot of fucking screen time. It's hours and hours of screen time. It's not something you can learn in a video. So again, you got to put in the work, and once you know what to look for, it becomes easy, and that's what this is about. Just figuring out what to look for. So start looking for this, okay? And once you start looking for this stuff, you could begin to identify it. So this is another supply level right here. Okay. So now what am I going to look for? I'm going to look for shorts in this area. Now I'm going to get into another concept here, and this is just as important as how quickly price moves from the level. What I also want to look for when taking a trade into these levels is how many times has price retested this level. So these right here are fresh levels, okay? So what I'm looking to do on fresh levels is just get in right at the touch, okay, at the first entrance into this level. So for example, price comes back up into here, I'm getting in, okay? If we shoot up like you know, very fast, if we get a massive bullish momentum candle, I don't care, I'm getting in. As a matter of fact, this a lot of times this works better when you get a candle like that. It's when it shoots right up. I actually prefer that versus, you know, slow movements. And again, I know it's hard to take a trade like that psychologically, but you know, you got to learn to do it, and you will if you put the practice in. So again, these are fresh supply levels because price fell down and has not yet retested this level, has not yet been back in these levels, okay? So they are fresh, and that's very important. So remember that for now. So these are fresh levels. So again, I'm getting in on the first touch. Now let's just move it here. And okay, so what happens now? So we get a touch of this level, right? The first touch, what happens? We come up. Remember I talked about the candle close. So look at that. So that, I mean, it's perfect. And again, you'll be shocked at how often this happens with these levels. How accurately they pinpoint these moves down. Okay. So what do we get? We get a touch of this level right at the candle close, and we fall back down. So again, that's a short entry. Now, where would my target be? Well, where's the demand level right now? The demand level right now, it formed right here, right? We got a pretty significant move off this level right here. So my target right now is right here. Now where's my stop? My stop for these trades is always right above or below the level I'm using to take the trade off of. So my stop in this case would be, you know, right above this red line here. So, you know, you get an entry there. Your target's here. Your stop is, you know, what, almost a tenth the size of your target. So your risk reward ratio on this trade is like 10 to 1, and it should be somewhat similar like that for nearly all these trades. So your risk reward ratio is fantastic, and if you do this right, your win rate is going to be fantastic also. So let's let me just go further down. All right, so target was hit, and so I would have gotten out right here. You know, that's a good trade. Now let's just keep going further here, see what we see. Okay, so here's another demand level that formed right here. So what do we get here? We get our first kind of decent reaction from this drop, our first significant swing up. So we're going to draw this demand level. And again, I'll get into exactly how you draw these levels later. Don't worry about it for now. Now, when do you get in this trade? Well, for these demand levels, you get in, again, this is fresh, so you get in on the first touch. And if it's not the first touch, generally, I will wait for some confirming price action on the smaller time frames, okay? But optimally, you always want to get in at the first touch. So you're going to get in somewhere. Hang on one sec. You're going to want to get in somewhere between here and here, okay? On this candle, right here, between about right there and right there. That's going to be your entry. It's kind of up to you when you want to take it. Again, typically, I like to do the close of the candle right there. So I would get in about right there. Okay? So you get in there. Now, where's our next supply level? Well, yes, granted, we do still have this supply level. It is still active, although we do have a test. But where's the new supply level that formed? Right here. Right? You see right here? We had this candle here, and then we had a further drop from that level. So that's another supply level right there. Okay? And look, you see how price is reacting to it right now. So entry right here, target right there, stop right below there. That's, again, another trade. Your risk reward on that one's probably 4 to 5 to 1. So that's another good trade that would have worked out. And again, your supply level's right here. Now, would you hold it up to this level instead of this level? Again, it all depends, and that's just something you'll eventually be able to discern for yourself once you get a better perception of how to use these levels. Now, let's just see what happens here. So again, we had another test into this level. You could see right here, right there, right at the level, tested it, came back down. And let's see what else we get. So we came up above this level now. Now again, would I have taken this or another test into this level? No, probably not. And why is that? Because we had the first test here, so I know a lot of those orders have already been consumed, right? Especially when we go all the way up into the level like this. I know a lot of those sell orders have already been consumed, so I'm not really interested in this level anymore. Now this level, you know, we've only had one test, and the drop was pretty strong, so you know, you could still probably take shorts from there. When you get past the third test, you know, you want to be careful with taking trades. But here we go again, right? See? Enter into this level, fall down. Now where are we? All right, well now we're back into this supply level right here, right? So now you see we're getting reactions off this supply level. Now again, this is the third or fourth. You see all these drops back down into the level here. It's just like the third or fourth entry back into this level. So I'm not interested in longs at this point, right? Again, shorts maybe possibly appear because it's the third test of the level. But when you see all these touches in here, it's not a good sign for going long again. So that's something you always got to keep your eye on is how many touches have we seen of this level, okay? And then, you know, and then we get, okay, so here's another major demand level that formed, obviously, right here. And then once again, this level is still acting as resistance. And what do we have now here? Let me just delete this. Here we have another major demand level, right? And we haven't tested that one yet. So I'll probably be looking for some trades in that one in the future. This week, actually. So that's supply and demand in a nutshell. And I'll get into how you draw these levels exactly in another video. I know it can be a little confusing, just you know, determining how I get these boxes shaped the way they are. So I'll get into that in another video. But again, go over this video a few times.
you.